What's up, guys? My name's Kyle DePeppe, and this is my personal finance channel. Today I'm actually going to be talking more about the Bitcoin miners. And I know I've done, I think, 2 videos on them recently. The more recent one, I think, being on Tuesday or maybe Wednesday, where I actually took a new position in MARA. I bought some call options. Now, I had a prior existing position in Riot. I had call options on that as well. Well, needless to say, since Tuesday, those call options are up 127%. So I've more than doubled my money, and I'm not making this video to brag. I'm making this as sort of a warning, and here's what the warning is. Oh, real quick before we get into it, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, would really help me out, would really appreciate it. And if you're enjoying other videos, please give them a thumbs up as well. And definitely subscribe to the channel, really help me out, really appreciate it, helps out with the YouTube algorithm, you know, all that jazz. Anyways, back with the talk on some of the Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining stuff, because, well, that's what you're here for, right? Okay, so this is sort of my, my warning to some of these trades, right? Obviously, Bitcoin has gone up a lot very quickly. And if you made a decent amount of money, you might want to consider taking some off the table, especially if you made it off of something like BITW, GBTC. Both of those are like Bitcoin type index funds. And then also even things like these mining companies, MARA, GBTC, HVBTF, Hive Blockchain, BTBT, Bit Digital. These companies some of them have doubled in the last week. And it's crazy capitulation to the upside. Just means it went really high, really fast, and it's not sustainable, right? Like, it's not just going to double every single week. It doesn't make sense. Bitcoin's price obviously didn't double this week, but it did go up. And I think people are just pouring into these as other investments because they don't want to buy Bitcoin at 40,000, so they might see these investments as a cheaper alternative, even though that's a relative term. So for me, because some of my options positions are up so much, I'm either going to take off half the position because I've doubled my money, so I can basically sell half my position, recoup my initial investment, let the rest ride, right? So even if there's a huge correction like 50%, I can just let it ride, and it's all profit at that point, right? So that's one approach. Now, the other reason why I'm actually going to sell some of my position today, more specifically, is that it's a Friday. And Bitcoin trades 24/7. However, the stock market doesn't. So when I look at my computer and I pull up my Fidelity account, or Robinhood, or whatever it is, you can't get out of these positions over the weekend when Bitcoin starts tanking. So there's risk going into the weekend because you basically have 48 hours of trading, over 48 hours of trading probably, between when the market closes on Friday and when it opens on Monday morning. So what could happen? Bitcoin could go to the moon, could go to 50,000, could go to 60, 70,000, right? And all of these positions could go up exponentially, which is why I would only sell half, right? That way I still have some money on the table if Bitcoin does continue to go higher. Now, the other situation is that Bitcoin's trading at all-time highs right now, or very close to it, right? A little bit over 40,000. And if Bitcoin even trades down to like 37, 36,000, well, it's down from its highs. And therefore, all of these stocks that are up 100% on the week are going to collapse quite a bit because people are going to take profits, they're going to panic sell, whatever it is. It's going to probably open down on Monday. And for these reasons, I would consider taking some profits off the table, just taking some of those profits myself, obviously. Or in this case, if you're up 100%, you sell half your position, which means you have taken your initial purchase price off the table, but everything else is just pure profit. So even if it drops by 50%, it's still pure profit. You didn't lose any money on the trade. So that's sort of my thought process going into this weekend. Filmed this real quick during my lunch break because, well, I thought it might be helpful if you guys could see this before the market closes today. Now, obviously, I don't want to make any financial advisory type decisions for anybody because everybody's tax situations are different as well. Obviously, if you sell something not in a Roth IRA, which is where my positions actually happen to be. So by me selling these, I have no tax implications, whether it's short-term, long-term, whatever, because it's in a Roth IRA. The whole point of that is that I paid taxes on my income, I did my contribution to my Roth IRA, and then I can take that money, invest it in the market, and pay no capital gains tax, no taxes whatsoever, as long as I keep it in that Roth account. So I can sell this, don't incur a short-term capital gain or anything like that. However, if you have the stock, for example, say you own MARA and you own the stock and you bought it on Tuesday for like $11 or $13, and now it's trading at $26 or whatever it is, if you go to sell it, you might incur, or you will incur, short-term capital gains on that. So just be aware of that situation. Now, granted, you did double your money. So, you know, not a bad thing to pay short-term capital gains when you make 100% return, but there are things to think about, right? If you want to hold this long-term, if you think in 2 years from now, Bitcoin's going to go to 500,000 and Mara, because it's going to be mining a ton of Bitcoin, is going to be worth, I don't know, 10 billion, this thing's going to go 10x in 2 years or something like that. So based on all these things, it's a lot of things to consider. But for me, I have these options. I'm up 127% in like 3 days, and it makes sense to sell half the position just to take some of the weekend risk off the table with Bitcoin. It's a volatile asset, it trades a lot. So these are things to be mindful. If you have a position or you're putting on a new position, you obviously can't get in and out of that position. If it's something like an index fund or an option, or basically anything that trades during market hours, and it's not an actual Bitcoin asset itself, because, well, Bitcoin trades 24/7. The market is only open from 9:30 to 4, not including extended hours. But that's kind of my thought process. So that is why I am actually selling some of my MARA and Riot, because I just don't want to go into the weekend with that risk. Bitcoin could very well continue to $60,000, $70,000 and then have a huge collapse. So just be aware of all these things. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm thinking about the market. The market's crazy right now, and I'm trying to wrap my head around everything, just because Tesla, even right now, it's like the 5th most valuable company. Elon Musk is the richest person in the world right now based on the stock or stock options that he has in Tesla. And their revenue's less than that of like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, all these other companies, and their market valuation is like 5th in the world. It's pretty crazy, and I'm even thinking about lightening up on my Tesla stock, because I just don't see it being sustainable. However, at the same time, you have the Fed, you have the government just pumping money out there, right? Writing stimulus checks, buying corporate bonds, whatever it is. There's just money being pumped into the system. And where's it flow? Bitcoin and the stock market, most likely. So I don't know. It's a crazy time right now, and I'm just trying to be wary with some of my investments. But obviously you can't watch the market at all hours of the day, because you gotta get your work done, unless you're a active trader and you can trade all day and that's all you do. But yeah, so I'm just trying to be careful with some of these things, take some money off the table where I can, realize some gains here and there. But it is tricky when you start getting into regular just brokerage accounts, and you have to realize short-term capital gains, long-term capital gains, and all that stuff. You don't want to be trading in and out, pay fees potentially. Most brokerages have no fees anymore, but with options there might still be minimal fees for some. Either way, just a little warning, just be careful out there, tread lightly, and sort of think about some of these things. If you're trading an asset that trades 24/7 or outside of market hours, like Bitcoin, if you're trading a stock or an index fund that basically tracks or is correlated to the price of Bitcoin, then you are running some risk over the weekend by holding on to that asset when Bitcoin is trading, but that asset isn't. So that's sort of my thought process. That's where I'm at, and that's how I am approaching the market close on a Friday. With Bitcoin trading at all-time highs, and some of these companies up over 100% in like 3 days. So hope this was helpful. If it was, please leave a comment down below with any questions or comments or concerns or whatever it is. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. We really appreciate it. It would really help me out. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching.